Today, 90% of the economy of the market of the income, it's go to only 10% of the artists.
And even within that 10% was probably a distribution.
Less artists getting more
Yeah.
money, and the other ones, and I can tell you that most of the artists, not only in Israel. I was amazed when one of our colleagues brought our the data from that. Even in the US, most of the artists are barely make a living, only from music. And you see Spotify, and you see whatever, all the distribution issues, you have to be really, 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 really big.
Welcome to the Ageas podcast. Buckle up. This episode is brought to you by Cards Biz, a business card too good to give away.
So this is cards. This is what we make in Cards Biz. This is the black Amex of business card, made out of metal, glass polymer, engraved in real gold or silver. And basically you don't give this away. You basically tap somebody's phone and the information is shared. So like you make the best impression in every meeting.
This episode is brought to you by Better Weight for Life, transformational weight loss aid, led by U.S. board-certified physicians, providing access to GLP-1 medications like Wegovy and Zepbound that are proven to help you lose weight and keep it off.
Hello, David.
Hi, Haggai, how are you?
I'm excellent. I'm very, very excited to have you. We already had a conversation in the past about music tech. I don't think even some people even know there's such a thing as music tech. So I think this will be a very interesting and fascinating conversation. But before we jump into music tech, the accelerator, and the ecosystem you're building in Israel around music tech, how about a little word about who is David? Like who are you, man?
Okay, let's start. It's not a big issue. 59 will be soon. I was born in South America, in Chile. Came to Israel when I was 5 years old, and brought up here and grown in Israel. But still have my Spanish and my connection to the music and everything in South America, not disconnected. Oppositely, and I grew up in Haifa, and in 35 in professional way, I am 35 years already in the business area. From those 25 as an entrepreneur, I started my first startup in 2000, a dot-com startup, just few months before the first bubble burst.
The OG, the original gangsters.
Yeah, and before that, I was in really interesting crossroads of the internet, of the building of the internet in Israel. I was part of the team of established the programming, establishing the Yellow Pages, the internet Yellow Pages. I was in the group. And then in the end of the 90s, my last role as an employee, I was the marketing manager of the first ISP that was built from Carrier, from a Carrier Basic International. That was the first one that built an ISP. The other ones in those areas came from small companies that was more tech companies that built an ISP, and then was the first time that a big communication company built an ISP, and I was in the establishment team and was the marketing manager of this. And then in 2000, I went to, or 33, some more or less, and I went to be a full-time entrepreneur, and not by the way or doing other stuff. And that's it. So I was in the domain name, started with domain names company. We were the build first and biggest domain registrar in Israel, even before GoDaddy, if someone knows about it. So we were before them in the timeline, and what then came from that, the more issues that coming from security and breaches of personalizations and impersonations. So we built from those few other companies that in this co-founders team that we had were, and we in the end we built a cyber intelligence company dealing with impersonations, infringements, and all the trademarks infringements and fakes, selling of fakes goods, and all over the world on the internet. It got to when I was there, it got to more than 100 employees with an IPO in the AIM in England and other. In 2022, after 22 years with the same group and many employees and other, I retired from those. Wasn't a choice in the beginning really, but I had a severe post-COVID that I had to took time off. after so many years in this pressure of being an entrepreneur. It's a real pressure. And I was in treatment and stuff, and I started to think what next. Now, parallel to that, so it will be combined to what I'm doing today. I always, like more than 30 years, always used as a lecturer in several areas. As in the beginning, was I was the first one in Israel that built a course in a university that was part of a BA degree, formal BA course. That was in the beginning of the 2002 4. It started in Haifa University. Was internet marketing, really the first course in Israel. And then, it got to digital and stuff, and the rest is history. But I was the first one. And then I because always I came thinking from down up. So I saw the need. I understood that people don't understand what is internet, what you do with it, you need marketing also in that area, and how you market, and people didn't know what to ask, how to go to the internet. So that was my idea, and it was really a few years in very interesting journey there. But around 2013, more or less, as I started more to be involved again in music, as started my career, I can say, in the late 80s in going to be I thought I will be a producer and a recording art, not less an artist, but more in the background of music as a producer and music producer. But Israel then, one channel, everything is very analog and really no place to grow.
Kids who are listening, once upon a time, there was one channel and it wasn't on all the time.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And to get to be to work, or to even go into some studio to work as something help, you have to, was really wasn't there. The market wasn't ready for it, and I started to explore. No internet then, so I had to write letters to England or to university to start to understand what's there for doing. And I get to the area of communication. Then I started my first degree in Haifa University, and I did a second degree, Master of Science in Behavioral Sciences in the Technion. Was really interesting, and I did a research about employees, and my thesis and research was about how to, and was is that everything with the first bubble, and I did a research about how to get employees in high tech in Israel. Was really, again, one of the first that did that. And then in 2000, I'm jumping then to 2013, 14, and I thought about another thing, because it was interesting to me, to how to I combine all my loves in one thing. And I started to understand that musicians don't have, in Israel at least, don't have any preparation for nothing that connect to business. They learn how to play, they learn how to write, or whatever they learn, theory, but nothing about how to manage even themselves. And I saw my musician friends, some of them famous ones, and after succeeding already, and nothing there. It was really, very raw. It was, for me, I was amazed, because even their professional managers, they have, very big lack of information. So I started to research about it a little more, and then I got to an idea that the market here is, even though it's nice, but it's small. For too many musicians, the crowd is small, and the good ones are going abroad, but not as the mainstream, mostly jazz or world music that can succeed abroad. Then I came to theory that we can take like three parallel lines as music, that has a lot of innovation and a lot of talent in Israel in music is, and I saw it abroad. I saw it with my friends, or playing to get to be a musician in New York. They treat you as you are an Israeli musician in New York. You can be treated as a high tech expert, cyber expert in coming from Israel. They treat you the same respect.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, but it was, it was a new, was like the dissonance here was really okay. They know how to live here in Israel for music, and they have to do another day job or whatever. And I saw another line about technology and entrepreneurship or management, and I see there like three parallel lines that I thought, okay, we have to connect them to be some triangle or whatever. How we connect everything into to one thing. So we thought, me and my partner today and my then academic partner, we built an idea that we can take musicians in their studies and teach them about business and technology and very basic, but to get the basics because they don't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to Ono, to college that really built then like 10 years ago. It was already more than 10 years ago. They built up with a great investment a full first music degree in Israel from contemporary music, not jazz in one only, or like Rimon, or the other ones like University of Tel Aviv
Mm-hmm.
University, and Jerusalem Academy of Music, that are very classical one. And there was a full degree and 4 years of learning music and nothing in business. So we started there with our business development and entrepreneurship for musicians, and really fast we wasn't after even the first year that we were looking what can we do with them. From second year and then ahead, we concentrated in tech project. So it wasn't, to build a case or something. It was to
Mm-hmm.
build a company that have an idea or an app or whatever that have a need. We believe two things: that we come to the musician because they understand their needs, they understand the problem. So, to be close to the problem is the real issue. And what we thought, and that's what our like assumption, that we can, because musicians are very talented, and are not only talented in music, they are talented because when you play music, it's I don't know if you know that, but it's the most brain activity that is known in today already, after researches and fMRIs and whatever, then tested. And when you play music, it's the most brain activity that you
Okay.
can find.
But we went through a lot of material, so how about we kind of stop a second and try to organize everything, and then like very interested to hear like where it went from. So let's go one by one. So there's what I'm hearing from you, but there's an assumption here that entrepreneurship can be taught.
Yeah.
So interesting enough.
Yeah, not entrepreneurship as a say. Yeah, you're right. I think I got the point. You can teach them what we thought we can teach them: the basics of marketing, business, and how to understand the basics. They didn't know any 4 years, nothing in to not marketing, nothing. So we thought we can try to bring their basics and then to make with them work on a project. Like it was, in the end, was a media incubator, academic one, with project that, with no tech involved as programming, but to build a product. And in the end, after a year with this course, they had to present a presentation like a startup.
Okay.
And we succeeded. It worked.
What does it mean to succeed? Like, what is success?
That everyone was, when we brought people from outside, from also from the business school, and people from the not only from the academy, from the industry. You have different levels of people, but in the end, you got the projects that most of them are good. There are few are very good, and a few are not so. The real
like the distribution. There's a distribution. Yeah,
that's it. And as we had I quote also the professor, the head of the music, Yuda Sommer Cohen, that he was telling the heads of the MBA in Ono, when they came to see the presentation. So he was thinking that if we took, with no some experience in whatsoever in music, in playing some instrument, and you teach them like for 1 hour a week an instrument, then can you do a really nice concert in the end of the year? We were very skeptical, not really believing that can be. We did the opposite. It worked. They were really, the presentation were in a right level, and they had the motivation was so in the end, because in the beginning, when we started, it was like, no, what we are doing, musicians, we're not dealing with business. It's not clean.
But you want to eat, no? Don't you want to eat?
Oh, it took a time. Yeah, the dissonance there is very great, and in the end, we succeeded not only teaching them, but also changing point of view how you treat what you are the brand. You have to
Yeah.
market yourself in the beginning, but you can think about other areas and you can see that something is much bigger than only your music or whatever you can do. Your chance to succeed is really low, but you can do other things in there. So give them the tools, not the fish. We have to give them the tools to do to take something from there. And this, we did it like in 9 years in a row for that. And that this connect today to what I'm doing today, because we started many years teaching and researching and understanding, and the world changed in those years from not understanding that there is a tech. As I recall, when I just I registered the domain MusicTech, it was already in 2018. So it's a few years from now, but it wasn't in the beginning, because the first years, we were more business development and to see how it connects to tech. And then through the years, we found more and more interesting things around the world and here. And today we got to a really interesting ecosystem that is coming up.
Interesting. So before we move into that and what is MusicTech, one thing, it's very interesting what you said about having to explain to artists that they have to be entrepreneurs, at least a little bit, right? It's like that, and this reminds me about this whole discussion that we're in a bit of a post gatekeeper world, right? If once upon a time there were a few gatekeepers, the people that chose you as the artist, that let you go on stage, that let you go into some publication and whatnot. Today, every artist can be their own platform, right?
Have to.
They have to.
Because they don't have any other way to promote themselves, to live from their craft. The issue is that we understood that every musician is an entrepreneur in some way. He's the business, so he has to promote himself for the beginning with. So the connection was there already. We had to connecting the dots and to show them that there is much more wider than they understood, and it worked.
Everybody has to be their own modern version of a Grateful Dead, right?
Yeah, more or less, like
promoting and building their community and like pushing themselves.
Yeah. And that's what's the beginning, but we took it to another level, and it's the level are growing, because we thought that music as to be a successful musicians, it takes, I don't know if it's luck or some other, but there's much more than luck. But it's a red, very red sea to be a successful musician somewhere. And we thought there is a blue ocean there out there with the new things that you can do with music, and then I'll explain it as we speak more.
I'll add one more. Like everybody, I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people are familiar with the Red Sea and the blue, like Red Sea, Blue Ocean concept. But there's another terminology, and again, I didn't make this up, but I heard it. There's basically two games, right? Of course, there's more, but two games people play in things. There's the winner takes all games and a lot of winners games. So like in sports, right, and in successful artistry, like there's really very few people that can be like, even to be in the top 10% is very, very, very hard.
I can tell you about the statistics.
Yeah.
Of the commercial and the business area and business side of this today, and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
Today, 90% of the common economy of the market, of the income or whatever, the money, you can say, it's go to only 10% of the artists.
Yeah, and even in that there's a distribution, right? And even within that 10% there's probably a distribution.
Yeah, and it's getting to 95 to 5, because it's less artists getting more money, and the other ones, and I can tell you that most of the artists not only in Israel. I was amazed when one of our colleagues and really brought our the data from the world. Even in the US, most of the artists are barely make a living. They're only from music. And you see Spotify, and you see whatever, all the distribution issues. You have to be really, 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 really big. To and there are a few of them.
Yeah. And
so to be an entrepreneur in startup, it's more chance. With the low chance you had, it's more chance to succeed there than to be a a successful artist.
Because in the business world, it's not a winner takes all. Yes, like maybe in search and in AI or something like that, but in business in general, there's more than one. You can be, you can be the most successful, I don't know, mini market in your area.
Yeah, sure.
Like, and then there's somebody else in another state or another area that's like the most successful there, and it's not.
That's it.
That's not a contradiction by itself. So before we move on, maybe help explain to people what is music tech. Like, what's the definition of music tech? What is that? What does that mean?
So, music tech is much more than music as an entertainment. Say, as I research it more and more thoroughly this last 3 years, I say it's not all about entertainment. It's about changing the world. And why is that? First, music as a tool, and I open it to also sounds and frequencies. We can use today music as a tool to implement technologies in areas like health, wellness, accessibility, education. It goes even to keeping safe the planet as a green, and give an example, and or to agrotech, and it's really getting very wide. The use of music as music or sounds or frequencies is really, it's getting to places, and I think with the frequencies issue we are only starting to scratch the surface, because it's really, the revelations there are incredible. For example, how frequencies work. There was in Israel, now they took it out in Israel, but it was a company, a startup, that it's not an invention, it's a revelation. It's like something that was found, like the penicillin, it was found by mistake. The egg industry, producing eggs.
Chicken
and
eggs. We're talking about chicken
what?
eggs. We're talking about
Chicken eggs. Yeah, sure. Chicken eggs. And to getting more eggs, you need more chicken to lay eggs, and then you need more to reproduce that. You need it as a reproduction, so you need more chicks to come out of the egg and then to be grown and lay eggs. A natural reproduction of species. Now the problem is that when you need the female, you get 50% of the population is getting it as a distribution in nature is males. And in this area, the males are not worth anything. They just throw them, poach them,
Some
they
would
kill them.
argue this is true in human beings, but I don't subscribe to that.
So if you look at it as an economical issue, you throw 50% of your outcome from what you grow, and that's it. The reason is this small chick. Even if you grow it for meat, it doesn't worth it, because it costs more to grow it, and it's this species. It's like 1.5 kilo or something, as I recall, and it doesn't give back what it costs to grow it. So
female chickens
it's
are
something
worth
very
a
known
lot more. So
yeah.
female chickens are worth a lot more.
Yeah, and because they lay eggs. What they found, by mistake, this guy, that they can change the gender of the chick before it go out of the egg from a male to female, and how they do it with frequency, with sound frequency.
And how does that work? How does that work?
So how they found it, that's the curious thing. It's a guy from the north of Israel. His family were like farms of chickens, and he was like was the manager, I think, of the blood the blood center of Poria Hospital. Was
blood donation.
I don't know if the donation, the center of the research and whatever.
Okay.
So, and the Bank Hadam, what they call, and they in the family they had
blood
some
bank, blood bank,
and they had in the family they had some farm of those farm they had of chickens, that the distribution of females was very rare, very odd. They wasn't like the regular one, and he is a curious scientist, started to check it. And long story short, he found that near this specific farm has a generator of the electricity company. And then to get to what it was, and to put this specific frequency there, it took it time, but they found it. So what they do, they grow. If you saw in real time how they do it in their, so you imagine a chicken farm, or that you grow chicks. It's something dirty, it's something very noisy. Now, because this frequency you want to manipulate the eggs, has to be their facilities. It most look like a server farm, not
Mm-hmm.
a chick farm, because it's have to be closed and have to be in temperature, the acoustics, and so they needed for those issues they needed acoustics experts. So for and you understand that here you see how the interdisciplinary issues are coming together. So that's it's a really odd, or something in the of our scale is very in one of the edges, but it's to show you for another.
But and this company, a company now? Is it commercial?
The company was raised like $15 million. They had already facilities all around the world, in the U.S., in Europe. They started in as I recall, in experiments. The company in those days called SOOS, SOOS. And the only problem was that like 2 years ago, I think, I don't know if the war or before or something, there in those areas, investors did a takeout, and they took the company out of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
But I succeeded yet in real time to see the facilities and what happening. In experiments, they got to 80% change, but every percent it's billions of dollars worldwide. You can
Super
understand the
interesting.
cost. And to be their business model was interesting, and they got in real industry. They had to get to 60% change instead of 50, and then from there every percent was like the income, and the profit was much bigger. And now I can show you another area of our scale for another day. That this is something that two PhDs physics from Technion found, how to find early forest fires.
Mm-hmm.
They did they found a way, and they developed a way to listen to the fire, to detect the fire by the sound of the fire before it bursts as something much more bigger. And they can do it really in the first minutes. And it's really interesting because every other solution there, it takes time more to detect. And it's
Mm-hmm.
even if we talking about a big forest in the world, that we know the outcomes of those fires and how the problem is really big right now. So it's like in this scale of ideas, we had people are companies that are doing research, not research, or solutions for people with dementia. Music as I can say personalized music by vitals, the human vitals of them personally, and then the music reacts to what our body is reacting, and they personalize. And to the problem with dementia is the outcomes of the stress and anger attacks and stuff. So those people can be treated only with drugs, or tie them. And
So does
right,
this help with the dementia or managing the
mostly managing
managing?
and getting them. But the problem is that they are drugged there, and we already see in this company, because they are connected. The business model was a breakthrough through the foster homes, the elderly facilities to treat older people, and they get all the attention there. But the problem is that if you don't have how to treat them, so you drug them, because you can have everyone going crazy because he doesn't know where it is. That's some. And this symptom is very, very, it's non-rare in these people. And it's if you but we see already with their outcomes that the is already a start of not only getting better vitals and better results with the people suffering with the treatment, so getting reduced the amount of psychotics drugs.
And does this company have a name?
Yeah, the company called Rubato.life, working it's an American company with Israeli entrepreneurs working in the U.S. and their clients are in the U.S. and their researchers. They have researchers with Boston University and Brown University already, clinical researchers, and they had just now received from the NIH, I think, the American Health Institute, that with the university they got a really interesting grant for more researchers, and they're going to take this only also to PTSDs and to cancer results. So to getting a treatment in another way, not someone coming to play with you, because music, the problem with music, that it influences people, and we know that. I recommend to everyone to go to see this documentary called Alive Inside, that health welfare guy called Daniel Cohen in the US. He went for this homes and was looking for people with Alzheimer
Mm-hmm.
that don't even recall their family. And what only he did, he just put them with a headphone, and he played them music that they used to hear in their youth. It's something you have to see to understand what people that don't recognize their family and don't speak, then they woke up. And it's like a miracle to see
Mm-hmm.
that. And it's, we know music do different things, but when you want to model it, or when you want to personalize it, you have to find. So the AI here is taking the vitals from your body and taking the several vitals, and then comparing what the music is influencing, and then doing all the match. And we see already very, very interesting results, and the clinical research is very good results, more than they thought. And we're moving on there with this company. Very interesting. It's I have so many mind-blowing examples that we can be here for hours, but that's to understand the scope of the things. This is the we deal with. It's not only do we have companies like Waves or
That's actually I want to ask. So we start with you start examples that maybe are on a bit on the edge on what people perception is, like frequencies that change the sex of the chickens,
yeah.
music that manages the soul, the temperament of people with dementia. But is there like music tech that's actually music?
Yes. For example, the first one I think in the world that came about from Israel. It's a company founded in 1991, before the internet, and
Wow.
they it called Waves Audio. Everyone that is dealing with something of sound or whatever of music or studios, they know this company. But in the Israeli high tech, nobody knows about them, because it's a bootstrap company till today, with more than 300 employees, 3 floors in Israeli and around the world, more people. I think they're more like 100 million ARR. And they started to take all the analog world in the music, and they change it to digital.
Mm-hmm.
And it called what we call today plugins. It's like software, because
Mm-hmm.
before, for being more specific for this, like if you had a guitar, then you want to do a sound, you had an effect, right?
Yes.
So you have to plug in your guitar to an effect, was like something like this, and then it was mechanical or electronic, but it was analog, and you put the guitar in, take the out from the effect, and then you use it. Today you don't use this, mostly effect. It's digital. And they invented it, and really they conquered this world. And that's I think the one of the reasons they got so big in this area. And it's very the basics. It take all what you need in the studios and put in digital, as simple as that. But 30 years ago, nobody thought about it, because the studios were huge, cost a lot of money, and you need a lot of hardware. Now they do
Yeah.
it as a software mostly. They have already hardware, but hardware is computers and not effects. So, and they from there they took it for another levels of sound and music, even in cellulars or whatever equipment you have with sound. Everything is with sound, so they are there. We have in Israel 2 other companies that more music, and they are already unicorns, new unicorns from the last years. One of them is Simply, that
Mm-hmm.
is music education, teaching music by an app. Really interesting. They are raised more than as a worth of $1 billion company, and they are selling also around $100 million ARR, from an app that is it's a B2C company. In the end, it started in the beginning as a B2B company, but they understood the product that they spin off to be B2C company, and they succeeded very well, and they exploded, and they are already there. Before they changed to Simply, because their product is simply piano, simply guitar, and simply voice, and they called JoyTunes. If people don't know them from now, that was the name before. And there is another company, also a unicorn in Israel in this area, called Artlist, that they are doing. They break the rules for or break the business model in the term of libraries of music, specific music for video creators. The founders were just they need it for them, and so they developed something that they needed as video creators. That you can, if you recall, for many years ago, when you needed a picture or some photo
Yeah.
for for an advertisement, you had to pay for one
Getty
picture,
Images or one of those
and it
Shutterstock.
was
Yeah.
like $300-$400 for each.
Yeah.
Now you, in $20 or whatever, you get all the whole catalog. So they did the same as those companies they did for the music industry, and they got really big, and they're very successful in sales. That I think they're the second week they already were break even.
Wow.
Yeah, that was they
Wow.
just really interesting issue. There is we in my podcast and about music and technology in Hebrew. There is a chapter there with one of the managers there, how they did it. It's interesting. So we have music and we have things are dealing with in music. For example, one of the big problems today in music is discovery. I don't know if you know, but it started like every month, but this number came to be every week. Every week you got in the world how many songs there are out there, you know?
How
You
many?
imagine the number?
No, I can't even. I can't
A
even guess.
day, a day, 100,000 at least a
Wow.
day.
Wow.
For like 4 year for 2 years ago or even less, it was like 100,000 in a week. Now it got to a day. So
So
how
it's an
many millions?
exponentially growing.
Yeah, and nobody hears most of
Yeah.
those. Nobody hears them because how you can hear so many?
So
Nobody
if
can hear it.
so,
So
it's a bit of a question. If a tree fell in the middle of a forest and nobody was there
that's
to hear it, did
that's
the
it.
tree actually fall?
So there is a lot of music there. Nobody hears. So those who create the music don't earn anything. That's the reason we started as
Yeah.
most of the. You have to succeed somehow, and when you as a user want to find new music, how you go and find today music? You listen to radio? No, or less.
Less.
Only the older guys, and in the radio they put only the things because they want to be popular. They
Yeah.
put only the things that you know already. It's not for discovery. If we see the radio in Israel, at least at 23 30 years
Yeah.
ago, they taught us what we have to listen, and
Yeah.
they're very, depends on the station you used to hear, but there were like two main music stations, and that's it. In the US you have a lot. For every genre you have like I don't know how many hundreds of
Yeah.
stations, but everything went digital, and it's the same, that you can't hear anything. So when you want to be, you have your app, your iPhone, or your Apple Music or Spotify, and then what do? How the algorithm of this
Yeah.
app influence you to what to choose or what to
Very much
listen.
so. Very much so. I have to say, from a personal experience, I used to have a non-paid Spotify account, and then I moved to a paid account. And I actually, in the non-paid account, where they force you to listen to things you don't necessarily want, I discovered a lot more music that I never thought about
Okay.
because of things. But yeah, but still only 24 hours a day.
In the end, who rules this commercial issue? Who rules the
The
what?
algorithm, the algorithm. Well, the algorithm
Yeah,
and the people who write it, right?
and what again? It was the same like before Google. Where you had the joke about where you hide a body in the second page
It's
of
Google.
Google.
Yeah.
And so in the music, even you don't have to hide. You just don't get. It's really and so for people to as a consumer to be able to listen to something new, to discover music, and to find things, even for many other uses. The use cases can be, you want to do a video, then you want to something that
Yeah.
it connects to the mood. There is a company that doing this, again, Israeli company, my part, doing something with an engine that can, with very very AI descriptions you put, and then you can find you the right music, not necessarily something that the app suggests you, can to be to the right mood, the right scene, whatever you need. So there is tools for that. Or if you want to listen for you're in a bad mood and you want to something to get you happy, so you go to what you know, or you want something new, whatever. It's one of the big issues today in the music industry is the issue of discovery,
Yeah.
the main problem. And there's a lot to come in this area. Their models will change, and the AI is creating you new music without musicians. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's getting interesting and not easy, because the struggle there,
So,
who
so
is the owner of an AI?
maybe we take a moment of philosophy. So
Okay.
I personally use Suno,
Yeah, Suno. Yeah.
Suno, and I have to say I was very, very impressed. Very, very
Uh,
impressed.
Me less.
Well, you have because you have a professional ear.
I don't know if it's a professional ears, because in the end, everything sounds alike.
So
In the
I had a
beginning, it's
different experience.
interesting.
I had a different
Okay.
experience. I
Okay.
have to say I had a different experience. Again, I didn't do a lot, but I did a few. I
Yeah.
did a few,
That's
but still, it was really, really impressive.
yeah. It is impressive.
Impressive. I tell you, for example, I asked. I remember somebody I know was doing a Christmas party, right? And I kind of wanted to help up, and like I went to ChatGPT, wrote the lyrics to a Christmas themed lyric, for like the party she was doing, and then fed it into Suno, and I had and asked her like specific 1950s kind of thing, and it was damn good.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was damn good. So like what does that mean? Like what does that
A
mean?
lot of
What is
very.
does the soul actually matter, or it's all bits and bytes at some point?
It's a philosophy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the end, I think what will remain, what from those millions of generated whatever music will remain as really something. When you hear today, even if you didn't grow, then I have my kids or my girls that they listen to the Beatles. The Beatles were created in the 1960s,
Yeah.
like 70 years more or less, right? 60 or 70 years from now, and the music still sounds good.
Yeah.
It sounds with some meaning. It's people listen to this music till today. I'm not sure about the generated music. If it and this is, I think this is the line of the differentiation. But there is an issue. The first issue: who owns the music that you wrote? You, the chat,
Good
the
question.
algorithm?
Good
Yeah,
question.
it's a very big question. Now dealing in many courts in the world, in the U.S. and Britain and England, and they want to legislate something to have it's in some way to have some restrictions or whatever. It's an issue. It will be an issue for the next coming years. The problem with music, or the I don't know if it's a problem or not, but the laws of IP, of intellectual property, as in music, it's very different, like in the pictures or in art. So in art, you can see a lot of things today, and the copyrights there is not as in the music. It's much more precise. The legal issue is it's bigger, because with pictures you can do whatever you want. You can have a inspirational whatever, and can learn from those. If the music that you create learn from an IP music, that something who owns, who influenced it, maybe
Yeah.
he has have to be a part of that. So the issue is big, and it's one of the, again, the thing that we, the society, the governments, who have to be involved in it, and it's just beginning right now. A month ago there was a call in England to do a law about it, and many, like hundreds of artists, called to the government to legislate something about it, so to restrict something. So it depends. I think in my point of view, that you can never win technology. But having said that, I think the issue of technology is always the first thing you see, but then it's about the infrastructures and the people how using it. So it takes time to get to a point that it's like from one side to the other. So now it's the side that everything generates and everything is
Yeah.
free or whatever. The internet started the same with as AI
Yeah.
today,
Free for all.
and the evolution will come to a point that it will be a tool. In the end, it will be a tool. I think AI and all the outcomes of AI, not only music. Music is, it's very out there, and it's very because of artists and because of the laws of IP. it's a big issue. But in the end, as we are trying to also to show that in things that we do, you use it as a tool, not as there'll be changes. Today, you don't have companies of photographers, right? That you have to go with your film and then
Yeah,
to do
the development.
development of all the photos. Those
Yeah,
those companies dead, right? Or Blockbuster, right? The videos or the DVDs companies, they're dead. But they didn't rule the world. Like, okay, they change, so you change. You do another thing. The people change their way of working, and then you develop new things. So I think it will be an infrastructure for a lot of things that we don't even know yet. We have, yeah, time will tell. It's a philosophy right now because we don't know how it will get there, but an evolution will be. I think that's my idea.
I mean, and you're definitely taking part, an active part of it. So why don't we move back to music tech in Israel?
Okay.
So I know you. So in a previous conversation we had, you tried to surprise me with a number of music tech companies in Israel.
Yes.
So why don't you share that? And then
Okay.
let's move to the accelerator and like what it's all
Sure.
about.
So after being in the academy and doing like 2 years ago, we understood that we need to do something else. We understood that we have to move to another phase, to another level, because there are things are happening, and then we need to not only embrace it, we have to build a platform that will keep it growing, because there is no industry here for that, and we had to make something. We felt we had to make a home, so we built outside the academy something called the Music Tech Innovation Lab. First, we discovered, and it started like 3 years ago when a colleague of mine in Reichman did a research. Dr. Revital Hollander did a research about that, and she found like around 200 3 years ago, 200 registered companies in these areas. And we knew that, and that even though then that there is more, because not all of them are registered, and there are startups are coming. So looking at today, after we did our own research for several reasons, we understand today, and we are still researching it right now. We're hoping to have some project with the CNC, the Startup Nation Central, to map that more thoroughly in there and put in the database, but open more sections so you can put yourself as me, because today there is like few there. Our estimation today is like 300 companies, and we know and we see how it's growing. So we opened first the innovation lab, and the first thing we did is open an accelerator to be the unique and first accelerator in Israel to this concentrated area. Because what we saw like a two or 1 year before, that there are coming up many startups in those areas, but in several accelerators, around Israel, everyone called us to guide them or to be mentors, but we understood that the know-how is not in one place. So that's the reason we built what we built. And when we opened the open call to last year to the first cohort, we I think we in the last 2 years or before that, we just met around tens of companies or entrepreneurs to understand the ground, to understand how it works, what people are thinking, who are they. And after those, we understood that we knew part of them, of most of them, and then we opened up this accelerator, and we got like more than 55 registration for being to get in. Interesting thing was that from those 55, we didn't know there were like 90% of them were new. So we understand there is a will, and what we are shouting here, or there is a
the mushrooms are growing. The mushrooms are
yeah,
growing. Yeah,
that's it. And the seeds are there, and the mushrooms or the plants are growing. And we just took only 5, but the issue was because we wanted to be concentrated and very, very boutique. With the facilities that we have right now, and the investments that we want to get later on. And right now we opened we finally finalized the first cohort. It was a really, really interesting event that we did in this last May in Tel Aviv, the Music Tech Tel Aviv, the first and the biggest event ever in this area. We got around 500 people coming, and already the first time that we get people from the industry of the investments and technology, as people from also from tech companies, not only music tech. So getting understanding what it is, or investors like EY came and Leumi Tech and Startup Nation Central and the Innovation Authority. So first time they're trying, they're saying on record that yeah, there is a need, as we say here in Israel about us, that there is in Israel we have high tech and we have low tech and we have no tech. So no tech is us. We wake up every morning, as you asked me before what who I am. Every morning I wake up to show the world that we have music tech in the world and precise in Israel. And I can say, and I can, after being in some events all around the Europe and mostly we have innovation here. And when I compare and we see what we're happening, so music tech, as we started with an accelerator, we are doing a broader thing right now to, because of the need there is, because there are other startups, as I said, the numbers are getting bigger and they need help. They need help with business. They need help with even managing HR or managing economical programs or raising money is, it's the first issue, but it's not because after you raise money, then the big problems come.
Yeah.
How to manage companies, how to go to a market, go to and manage facilities or whatever they need to go to cooperate with other companies not from the area and to produce products and it's the real world issues that this area or this industry is not mature enough to get many people with experience. We bring people from all around this Israel and abroad, expert in whatever we need. We'll bring to the companies the right guy from the right corner in the world to get them to. So we develop also a strategic section to help not only the accelerator, and we even also started to helping the artists, at least those one who want to be connected to the tech, because we're talking about it and people are getting enthusiastic about it. So we're doing like events for high tech and bigger companies as a specific. It's not a TED and it's not like a show. It's something new that wasn't there, like taking artists talking and showing and performing about technology. So like we have Guy Mezig and Harel Scott and Jimbo J, like for examples that are coming. Everyone is showing his craft, but how he used music as or AI about how he used AI in his music, and not as a tool to create, not replacing them. Or what is the music as a recovery or helping people to get to be after trauma, whatever. And there, we have really a lot of interesting thing. How we have a lecture about brain and music and frequencies, how it helps. And so it's bringing, it's like a knowledge, or I can say we call it music meets tech, and it's for companies to get not only a show, but something more like a popular science event for them. So those are the areas that we are developing. We are developing right now also it's for our this hub business development, with trying to bring the companies from that are into it. For example, we have the first talks with companies as Amazon Music, Sony Music, Disney Innovation. They have something very interesting. And Yamaha has just raised a fund. Yamaha Music raised a $50 million fund for. It's a new thing, and we are already speaking with them. So, and they are interesting to see our innovation. And I can say, I don't know how many times we have, but really, I can say that we are being noticed, as I say, because
Why?
For example, already even not a year right now, acting as an entity in this music tech, and we're starting to see our colleagues in Europe. There is in Berlin and Italy, Belgium, and raising up something similar. And I think there will be something in Music Tech Europe that we'll join. There is something, or legacy company or entity in the UK, in England, that called Music Alley. Music Alley they do events and music tech, and they address us. I've been there for some of their events, but before I just wanted to address them to write about Israel or something. Just like few weeks before the event, the CEO of Musical.ly wrote me an email and said, "We saw you and we saw what you did. We want you to be the entity or the party or the company that." That nominates the startups, not startups, the entrepreneurs, the Israeli entrepreneurs. Doesn't have to be, for example, an Israeli company, but the entrepreneur has to be Israeli. You will be choosing and nominating the three ones every year of the Israeli ones to our international entrepreneur competition. So we elected to be the formal nominees of Israel, and not only we nominated, so one of our companies that we nominated won the top. There are 5 winners in every year of the best entrepreneurs. So one of our companies already,
Nice.
and it's a company called Bet that is
What's the
doing
name again? What's the name again?
Bet. It's like better ear. It's a phrase that they are facilitating people with loss of hearing in venues to hear better, because it's an issue of accessibility to people with loss of hearing, and they can't go to even if you have the your device for hearing, when you speak, even in a crowd, even in a lecture, you don't hear well. It doesn't work good. So they really cracked it, because they found a way how to do, if you go to a concert or even a show or a theater show, then you have to book a specific place for accessibility. Then you have to get in line in a different line, then get this big headphones that very
The hearing aid.
and then if you don't have place, or you don't have you won't hear, and it's very it's putting you in a very very specific place, and it's not comfortable, for saying the least. It's not comfortable. So what they did, they developed a device. It's RF, and it's a technology that, but you put the devices for the venue. The venue had to do the accessibility issue anyway, as he have to provide those earphones and everything. And just they established and put it in their sound system. It's like a hardware they put in, connected to their, and that's it. The people come, they can come anyway. They have the sticker or whatever, it's the sign of it's accessible, and then you, with your phone, you as a user, you just sit wherever you want, and you connect to their app, and then it's connected to their device, and you scale, or you put the hearing connected to your hearing aid. It can be all simple headphones or whatever you use, even your hearing aid, and you adjust the sound as you like. They succeeded to even to access to do some this to work it out in a 50,000 park show.
Amazing.
Here in Israel. So it's work only in big venues. It's really interesting what they do. And right now we're helping them to get another scale. So so they won. There was one of the companies that we nominated, and there. So they, in the world, they want to see us, because they know Israel is a startup nation, and the real issue that we're bringing from Israel is not only in music. I think our edge is not in the music business, but in the surrounding areas, as we described here.
So David, what is the future? What's the future for this? I mean,
much companies in Israel,
yeah,
and going
what's
abroad
many much? But what's much more?
I hope to be at least in a few years as doubled, as like few.
Okay, so like close to 1,000.
Close to 1,000 companies, more unicorns, but impact companies doing really a change in the world of helping people, doing a lot of new things. I think we have more areas to research and to see what's there. I think that we don't know what we don't know. For example, in the frequencies area, and as I told before, I think we're only scratching. So the good is yet to come in the products and solutions that will be, I don't know, relevated or whatever. And we hope everything will be good. And so getting the investors and the companies, because from Israel to get investors for this area is not impossible, because there are investments there, but it's not really a strategic ones. And it's not cyber, but it's not. And so for us, the future is to be Israel as to be one of the head countries that as we being like in food tech or in agrotech, that we can be a light to everyone else in the world, and also in this area. Although I don't say although, it's because we don't have any music industry. We don't have boundaries. People are not really related to the industry, so they invented things that are even not logical to. So if you see in the States or in the UK, when they develop things, they want to succeed, so they develop things to the boundaries of the ecosystem, the existed ecosystem. Here there's no ecosystem, so people come with crazy ideas, and some of them are working. So, and we want to concentrate everything to really make it happen and make nice and big companies and make a difference in this world and be more impactful.
So here's also your chance to do a shout out. But like, what do you want people to know? What do you want help with? Like, if people hear this, entrepreneurs and business people, what would you like to say to them?
So first, if you are thinking you have an idea in this area, we are your address to come and to present us, so we can help you. If you're an entrepreneur and you are coming from some and you have an idea, because you play music or you like music and you have some idea, and don't keep it for yourself. Just try to address and to come to Accelerator or to come to our events to see other people like you that think that you're not crazy, so the things are happening. So those for the young entrepreneurs, or not in age, as for
young
parents. And the other things are, we're looking for people that are interested in this area for any cooperation or want to see innovation as investors or developing innovation in Israel. Everyone who's involved in innovation and want to see really interesting innovation, not more of the same fintech, cyber, or whatever there is there, as we are ruling this world economy in these areas. We have new things for you to get mind-blowing issues. And the other things to get it, to understand what it is, if you have a company and you want to do an event and you want something that you didn't heard before, and so we can provide you some real nice event, because we want to more people to know about it. So it's really interesting opportunity to get to see another side of artists and art with the connection of.
So where can people reach you, David?
MusicTech COIL is our website. People can reach me personally in LinkedIn or wherever I am. I'm reachable, no problem. And so my LinkedIn is very active, because I'm mostly there promoting the issues. Yeah, then just reach out and we'll be here.
David, a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you much for your energy. And thank you for making my haircut look good, which is the most important thing.
It's a wrap. This Ageas podcast episode ends here, but you don't. Now, is it crazy to think that you know somebody who'd love this episode? Share it with them, and they'll love you for it.